All right, everybody, thanks for being here tonight. It is 6:30 on the dot, and we have a nice full agenda and lots of folks around the table, so we're going to start on time. It is 6:30, and we're going to call our meeting to order. All school board members are present except for Stephen. The notice of the meeting was sent on August 13, 2026, and copies distributed to Sun Prairie Media Center and correspondence for the Wisconsin State Journal and Capital Times newspapers.
Thank you, Diana. And we are also going to call to order the Sun Prairie City Council. And I think Alder Jacobs is still at the utility meeting. Other than that, I think we have all council members present.
Fantastic. And I'm just going to look, we do a motion to approve the agenda. Here's the city council agenda. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda, please? So motion by Grayson, second by Davis, all in favor? Aye. All right, fantastic. So just so everyone understands kind of the format of tonight's meeting, we have a few presentations lined up and we're going to let them all go. Instead of doing presentation talk, we're going to let all of our presenters present. And then we'll go around and make sure that every elected official gets a moment to share whatever your most burning comment or question is. Kind of keep that in mind as we go. We'll make sure everyone gets at least one chance to share something. And then we'll do a little time check and see where we're at and if we have time for more open conversation or if that kind of wraps our time to be ending in a reasonable time period. Anything else you want to add? Okay, fantastic. Yeah. Let's see if I didn't. Oh, again. Okay. So there's our agenda for the next. So we're going to do some welcome and introductions, talk about some things we have in common, including our health and wellness, the library, some sustainability programming. We're going to do a little presentation on taxpayer transparency, community engagement, and then we'll see what we have time for after that. So we want to go around just really quickly because it is a lot of people here. But if you can just take a moment, share your name, your role, how long you've been in your role, and what was your why for running? Like why are you here? What's your motivation for being here? Do you want to kick us off? Yeah. I don't know.
Well, we'll start at this end and come right around.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Maha. I'm a student school board rep, and my length of service is my junior and senior year. I ran for this position because I really wanted to be a voice for my students, my fellow students at Prairie West.
Hi, my name is Shuri. I'm the East Junior rep on the school board. My term is also junior and senior year. And I ran for this position because, like Mama said, I also wanted to be able to give a voice to the students at school.
Good. I'm Aaron Oppenheimer. I'm the city administrator. I've been with the city almost 14 years, and the reason why I'm in the role is for the cause, public service.
Emily Comstock, I am an alder for the city, District 4. I've been on the council for, the number I keep hearing is 16 months, and I don't know if we're in the 17th or 14th, but anyway, about 16 months and middle of my second year. And I'm here because I thought that there were some things I could do to help, and occasionally I've been able to do that, so fulfilling that need in my own person.
Hi, I'm Maureen Crombie, and I'm in one of the best districts, District 3. And I do say one of the best. I do say one of the best because they're all really good, except for ours is the best. I've been on the city council since 2016. I actually started being I wanted to be on the city council because I like to give back to the community, and we have an amazing community that really cares about people, and I wanted to be part of that.
Hi, everybody. I'm Brent Gordon. I am a school board member and I am in my 9th year of service. And I started on the school board, I believe, wholeheartedly in public education and public schools. And this was I have the ability to be able to serve in this role and give the time that it needs. And that's what I wanted to do, to give back to the community.
Santiago Rosas, District 2. I've been in the council here for 3 years. I wanted to serve because I enjoy working with residents and I also believe in change. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Isaac Sung, and I'm also a school board member, and I've been in this role for about a year now. And for me, the reason why I wanted to join was to give a voice to those who felt like they weren't being represented, and I felt like I could do that and serve in that capacity, so that's what I'm trying to do.
Hi, I'm Rex Owens. I'm the Alder for District 1 and Council of the President. Council of the President, hello. I'm President of the Council. I was appointed in May of last year. I won election in April of this year, and I'm here because this is what I do.
First of all, thank you for coming out. My name is Steve Stocker. I was on the council. I was elected also in 2016 and served for about 9 years. In the last year and a half, I've been fortunate enough to be mayor of this city. The reason I ran for public office in the first place is I think it echoes quite a bit in this room. I think everybody in this room has a passion for this city. They want to see this city be better than what they came as. So you want to lead as a better, as the city being better. And I think everybody also wants to make a difference. And that's what motivates me. I want to make a difference day in and day out.
All right, I'm Diana McFarland, and I'm president of the school board this year. I am in my 5th year of service, and I joined the board because I really wanted to make sure that our kids were safe, had access to high-quality education, that I thought our district could do a better job of partnering with community organizations that also serve kids in our community. So as a mom of 4 and had substitute taught in the district for about a decade, I just thought I have a little more to give.
I'm Melissa Grayson, and I'm vice president on the school board. I am in my, I guess it's a year and a half of service. And I joined, or I ran because I'm passionate about education and kids. I have 3 kids, and just, I think there's so much potential here.
I've been enjoying watching people play musical chairs back here because the sun's in their eyes. I'm Cheryl Batterman, and I'm also with District 4. I've lived in Sun Prairie for over 40 years, which is impossible because I'm only 29. And I ran because I see this as a continuation of public service that I have accomplished over the years. I was actually on the Sun Prairie School Board for 9 years, way back in the late 1990s and early 2000s. And that's it.
Hi, I'm Amanda Davis. I am the treasurer of the school board, and I'm in my 2nd year. And my why is I'm a former Sun Prairie East High School English teacher, and I wanted to be the voice for our students and our staff in our district.
I'm Casey Dringler, Council Vice President. I've been on City Council for about a year and a half. My why is be an advocate for our neighbors because we love Sun Prairie. This is where we're raising our family. And my biggest why is right in the front seat. So my kiddos and all our students. My classroom is just down the hallway over here. So always looking out for the future of Sun Prairie.
Hi, my name is Colleen Mueller-Camp. I agree with Maureen that District 3 is one of the best. I'm a school board member. I've been on the board for 21 months now-ish. My why, I wanted to bring more equity and equality across the different buildings in our district. I was, from an outsider, seeing a little bit of differentiation based on where you live in our community and wanted to help bring that to a more equitable front. Also, I have a career, 20 years of working in education policy, and thought our district could do a little bit better of a job working with under the guise of our policies, and wanted to bring my expertise to the board.
My name is Bill Baker, and I'm a District 2 City Alder person in the greatest district in Sun Prairie. Not that I'm competitive or anything, but Alder Santiago will agree with me. I've been in office for 16 months, 17? 16? I came in with you, so whatever that number is, you're the educator. And my big why was there was a need for housing and also communications. People talked to me about it quite a bit, convinced me to run for office, and we're striving towards the housing, doing very well. And I know with our ad hoc communications committee, we're moving forward in providing better communication to our citizens.
All right, my name is Dr. Angela Reed. I am the superintendent of the best superintendent of the best district in America. And I just want to tell you all, I am so glad that all the high profile people are here. Got the mayor here, the chief of police, the fire chief, because I'm gonna need you all this year. I'm from Chicago, when the Bears beat Packers, I need you all to shut it down. So shut the city down. So, Bears. Yes, I know. But I've been in education about 23 years. I started as a football coach. I just wanted to coach kids so they can have the opportunity that, I had. And during that journey, I recognize, being here is something that I take pride in. We possibly have an opportunity gap in Wisconsin that won't be reflective in some way. So that is my mission and vision, and I'm thankful to be here.
My name is Frankie. I'm a student school board representative for Sun Prairie West, and I'm serving for my senior year. I served last year. So I joined because I want to uplift people around me, and I also wanted to bring students' perspectives to the school board table. So.
My name is Kyla Ross, and I'm the Sun Prairie East Senior Representative. Last year was my first year, my junior year, and then I'm looking forward to the rest of my senior year doing this role. And my why is that I have so much love for my school and the people at my school, and I knew I could represent the ideas and thoughts that we had, so that's why I ran for this position.
Thank you. We're also fortunate to have a couple of elected officials here tonight. I've been introduce himself.
Hi everyone. I do agree with more District 3 is the best district. But again, my name is Goodwill like the store, and Goodwill Fanzi. I'm originally from West Africa, Nigeria, and I have the honor to represent the good people of District 16 on the Dane County Board of Supervisors, which is District 3, which is where I live in Sun Prairie, and then also the far east side of Madison. And length of service, I got elected in April of this year, so I'm the first time elected official on the county board, and the only African on the county board. And my why is my daughter, who will be 6, is starting Creekside in the fall. So, and we just had a newborn baby here in Sun Prairie. So yeah, so this is my life. So yeah.
So I'm State Representative Heisel, and the reason I ran is to deal with some issues that I think have been outstanding for some time that we need to deal with, which include shared revenue, per pupil funding, how the state funds our municipalities as well as our schools. I think we've had some issues that we've been kicking down the road, and I think we're really starting to see the effects of those now.
Thank you very much. Before we go on, the council had a strategy session this week, and I would like to have an answer just by show of hands. Everybody but Cheryl, I would like to have an answer. So I'll ask the school board, did you ever have, or do you have any desire to run for city council? Let's see a show of hands. Okay. Okay, so, the council. I would like to see your answer. Do you have any desire to run for the school board?
No.
Cheryl is the only exception. So, thank you, Cheryl.
That's fantastic. Yeah, and thank you to our representatives for being here to just listen and learn with us. We really appreciate your time on a beautiful summer night, and to everyone else who's in the audience as well. I think a lot of you are going to be standing up and sharing some expertise with us soon. But we really appreciate your time and dedication in being here. All right, so our infographic's a couple years old, and we're gonna breeze through this really fast, but just a heads up for some of the people who might be newer in their roles or newer to our district. The Sun Prairie Area School District now holds about 8,500 students across 15 campuses. And I'm not gonna read all of the stats there, but I do think it's interesting. We have over 60 languages represented in our district, right? Home languages spoken, and lots of other interesting stats there as well. One of the other stats for all elected officials to keep in mind is the rate of poverty in our students, which continues to increase year by year, as well at a fairly significant pace if you're thinking about statistical significance rising pretty quickly in our community. So just something for all of us to be aware of who it is that we're serving and some of the conversations around who we're talking about tonight. Those are our kids.
So, we're going to talk about next.
Do you want your little infographic? Do you have anything to say on it? Or no?
Actually, we're a city of approximately 40,000. And obviously our 13 square miles falls within Sun Prairie Area School District. But the school district, as we'll see right there, is so much bigger. So you want to talk to the range of the district?
Sure, yeah, so the Sun Prairie Area School District, as most of you I'm sure already know, but we're just northeast of Madison. We cover 78 square miles and 10 municipalities. So you can kind of see where the city of Sun Prairie resides in that most populated area within the Sun Prairie Area School District, but we do also serve 9 other municipalities for our students. If you want to put out your little yellow dot.
And so if you look there, there's a yellow dot over on the west side that is DeForest. The DeForest School District is within our 13 square miles, so.
Just some fun facts, and then we went ahead and made this an infographic for tonight's meeting, just so people could start to see how the schools overlay the city district boundaries. So you have your 4 alderman districts, and then you can see where each of the schools lives within your districts. And if I do have anything you want to say on that, I'll keep rolling.
I didn't go over the.
Yeah.
All's where.
So we thought this was interesting because I don't know if we've ever explicitly told each other this before, who the liaisons are for each of the schools from the school board and from the district level. So we're just going to kind of let that slide sit up there for a moment, and hopefully you can look across the table at each other and figure out who are the people you might want to connect with further. So if there's a really nice event happening at one of our schools, maybe consider sending an invitation to your district representative. There's districts 3 and 4, because there's a lot of overlap there. So lots of connections that can be made if we look around and see who our shared people are, to make sure that we can continue after tonight's meeting, because 2 hours is going to fly by. After tonight's meeting, how we can continue to make connections with one another and deepen our partnership. Do you want to comment?
Yeah, that was a revelation to me. I did not know how the school board was aligned with the schools. So that was a learning experience. As far as the city, as the mayor representing all districts, Diana, you represent the entire district. We do have a council liaison, and that would be Cheryl Batterman. She's our liaison to the Sun Prairie Area School District. We're also fortunate to have school board member Bruce Martin as our liaison to our plan commission.
All right, and I think that's it for our introductions. We just wanted to lay a little bit of that groundwork and show each other how we connect with one another. And one of our biggest, deepest partnerships is our Employee Wellness Clinic. Shared investment and shared impact. So I'll invite Ellie here to come on over and do the mic wherever you want to stand. We didn't have a podium for you yet.
I don't know, yes. Whatever works, wherever. You tell them what the word you're telling. You can keep walking. All right, appreciate it. Allie Yeager, independent benefit consultant and working with the community, the district for decades. And the main purpose of this presentation is around the shared clinic between the district and the city. It was 2019 when we first started having a conversation around this concept. We went around, interviewed, and looked at different parts of the state in terms of best practices for clinics we had designed over the last few decades. And one of the bigger and most noted piece of this is it's to focus on better health outcomes. And as you see, we compare our, they call it HEDIS scores, age, gender appropriate screenings. And a big focus of the model is to improve those scores in whether it's, cancer screenings, blood pressure, depression, diabetes. We're far outperforming the norm when we look at our scores. That's point number one. As far as the why behind that, that really helps catch conditions early in the equation. And that quality of life, cost, that's a big deal. So since we've done that, we've seen a significant improvement on both the city and the district side of the equation on cost. So I'll get further into what does that translate to in terms of ROI. ROI can be measured in a lot of ways. We've consistently had year by year well over $300,000 return on investment for every each year, each quarter. We're seeing, when you combine all the pieces of the equation, the hard savings that the clinic has versus going to a normal health insurance reimbursement. There's also early intervention, meaning catching conditions early. Time away from work, it's a lot more convenient than the normal clinic schedule. Multi-year rate caps. This is a conversation other parts of the state do not understand. We were able to, because of our improvement of health conditions, both the district and the city are looking at multi-year rate caps moving forward. We have other parts of the state. The majority of our clients throughout the state are self-funded. We have some that are just experiencing 20, 30+% increases. And we have single-digit caps for the next several years on both the district and the city. That's a big deal. It improves access, convenience, and support for the employees in multiple categories. There's a survey done for each individual using the clinic, district, and city. And right now, categorically, we've had 100% satisfaction. That's a big deal too. Next slide. Or do I have that? I think so. All right. What are some other components of ROI that you can look at? Community impact, attracting and retaining staff for overall well-being. This is for the staff and the members. They perceive it as being done for them instead of to them. That's a big deal. And high quality, convenient care for the staff and the families. So we continue, as indicated by the feedback and the surveys, positive feedback. Some additional recognition from mental health and workplace certificate at the district in 2026, independent recognition. So the behavioral health coach is a big component in the area of expansion that we're going to continue to build upon. And by the way, for both the city and the school district, expanding on some of the incentives to take advantage of that will certainly be an opportunity for both moving forward. So the other WellCoa, many of you may have heard of WellCoa, independent recognition at the district in 2021 and 24 for 3-year terms. The only public employer that was recognized in the nation on that. That's a big deal. And then annually at the WASB convention, high quality, satisfaction, low cost. So looking forward, we're not sitting stable. This is not something that was packaged and designed in one size fits all. This was designed and customized for the city and the school district. And it's, as a result, why we're getting a good ROI out of it, why we're customizing it to our needs, and we're seeing opportunities. And we're also leveraging with other communities, whether it be Middleton, Wanakee, and other, in Verona, to see if maybe we can leverage a little more aggressively on areas of behavioral health,
Certain specialty days, we're seeing big dermatology ROI on dermatology days. On-site pharmacy, big cost driver, we're seeing throughout the nation. And then lastly, cardio medical like program, which is a big deal. Did I stay under the time limit? Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any questions? What we're going to do is, as each presenter presents, we're going to ask the questions right after. That way we can let the presenter lead. Any questions? Casey? I do want to recognize County Supervisor Emily Seifert this year.
Yeah, not a question, but as a teacher in the district, the clinic is something that myself, my family really appreciates, and all my colleagues, and we do really see that as a benefit. So thank you for all your work on this.
What year did this open?
2020. So 19, I mentioned, that was when we first kind of got together and started looking at other community building formats. So everybody and I've done
In 2019 was when we first had a city and district conversation and started looking at other models throughout the state. But 2020 was when it launched, right in.
Okay, thank you.
I also want to recognize Dr. Chris Sadler and Karen Richmond are back here, who are also a huge part of our health and wellness team. So thank you so much for taking the time to be here tonight with us. And I think that meeting around health and wellness is about the last time we had a joint city and school board meeting.
Probably.
So it's been a while. All right, next up, do you want to intro your team?
Oh, sure. We have Lynn here. Fortunate to have Lynn from the library. I think pretty much everybody must know Lynn. But I'll let you introduce yourself and talk about the library.
Hi, everybody. I'm Lynn Montague. I'm the head of youth services at Something About the Library. I'm standing in for Shweta because she's not here, but also she knows I can present. So just a little bit about the library. I'm going to talk about our new spaces a little bit because that affects everyone in the community, and we all use the library, hopefully. Okay, starting off with the mixer. That is our new makerspace. Everyone in the community, all ages, has been using the makerspace. It opened in early June. These are all the programs we've been able to have in there this summer. So there's a whole gamut, all ages. It's been really great. We've been able to have all different sorts of hands-on programs in the mixer. The mixer is a place where people can get their hands dirty, learn about lots of different things, from low tech, you know, getting hands dirty, literally gardening kind of programs, to like building circuits. You never know what you're gonna do in there. So the mixer was also helped funded by the back end by the Education Foundation. So directly related to the district in a way, which is pretty awesome. We are always adding things. We're kind of just getting off the ground in the mixer and figuring it out, because whenever you have a new space, it takes some time to figure out exactly how everything's gonna function. And there we're still adding some shelving and things like that to kind of organize everything and keep everything moving. And I just have a picture of Legos there because Legos are really, really popular, and we have a lot of Legos, and we do all our Lego programs next year.
Big fan.
Next slide. The Kind Stage and Amphitheater outside. These are all the programs we did this summer. Now, okay, a few of those ended up being inside because the weather did not cooperate. Unfortunately, Tuesdays and Wednesdays apparently like rain. I don't know why. We kicked it off with a really big national performer. We had 1,400 people come to the library for Cuckoo, which was amazing. So 1,400 people in this community came to the library and celebrated outside. Came and celebrated reading, literacy, and getting together as a community. It was so fun. And it was like, oh, community celebration. It was amazing. We've got things for all ages though out there on the Kind Stage and Amphitheater. And in fact, this last weekend, there was a bunch of high school students and a few just graduated students who staged their own play there all week long, and it's the weekend. They spent the week staging all their props in my youth program room, and then use the kind stage to produce, direct, and do the whole thing of their own self-directed written play, which was amazing. So it's another way that we are working together. Next. Of course, the new space is a lot of youth and teen spaces. We have a new dedicated teen space that is getting high use, because now teens have a place to go that is not just in a bunch of book stacks. So they actually have like a place to hang out, lots of kids on the computers, lots of kids hanging out. It is in constant use. And the youth space is just, it's so bright, it's so amazing, and like, you can see everything. It's not tucked away into like random little corners. It is in constant use. Right. New spaces you may or may not know about. Hopefully you've noticed the atrium. What's really cool about the atrium is that there is a giant glass door that we can open from the community room and spread programs from the community room out to the atrium. So it expands that whole space. I used that a lot this summer when I had to move programs inside. We also, oh, and this is the repair cafe. So this last summer, we had a repair cafe, or not summer, winter, we had a repair cafe it was a collaboration with all sorts of different organizations around. People brought in their winter coat that needed a new zipper, or their computer that was broken, and people helped fix things, and be more sustainable instead of like going out to buy new things. And, we have fun programs like dinosaurs up there. You may not know we also have a sensory room in the new space, so it's a great space. People can request to go in there. We did need to make it more of a request situation, but we have people using it all the time to just calm their senses and kind of get away from any other things that they need to. And there's a dedicated caregiver's room where you can take a child for a moment, and it's also fully stocked with the donations of diapers, wipes, full changes of clothes for kids. So when things happen at the library, you don't have to leave. You can, you've got backup there. I'm a mom of 4, I get it, that things happen. And this way, if you're about like newborn through about size 6-ish, you have full sets of clothes there. You may not realize we have a ton more study rooms. These are in full use a lot of times by students, but also by business people in the community. We've had lots of business people in the community coming to use them. Lots of students, lots of student groups, all using our study rooms. We have 3 two-person study rooms. We have 2 on the adult side. The two-person study rooms are on the adult side. We have 2 adult study rooms that are 4 to 6 people. We have 2 youth and family study rooms that we really keep reserved for families. They're about 6 people. And we have 2 teen-only study rooms. These are used all the time by teens doing like D&D, and like sometimes studying, you never know. But more like gaming and things like that. But hey, they got a space to go, which is really cool. And they've got one of the best ones because it's got a window. We expanded our collections a ton with the new space. One of the things is the Library of Things, which you can check something out and try it out. Maybe it's a baby carrier. Maybe it's a pass to go to the Milwaukee County Zoo. Maybe it's a welder thing. All sorts of different things. So if you want to try something out, go get it, check it out. You can try it and bring it back. But we did a lot of things with the collection, because books are really the heart of the library. They're the core of what we do. We reorganized the early readers so they actually match up better with how the district teaches and how we know how kids learn how to read. So if you know our readers from before, we had like these 3 stripes of tape. Now they're organized by skill set. So by phonics, decodables, short readers, and long readers, because that's how kids are taught. We have beginning chapter books. It's not that we didn't have them before, but you couldn't find them before. Because every time you divide out a collection, it takes more space. We couldn't do that until we had the space to do it. We also have early reader nonfiction, early reader graphic novels, all great ways for kids to learn to read. And we're implementing neighborhoods, which is another way for kids to choose their own books. We also expanded our world language collections a ton, which, you know, having books in all those 60 plus languages, that's what we're doing. And all those adults having book clubs in the community, we got kits for them. So you can come in, you can check out 20 of the same book and bring it home and have your own book club. You might have heard of this, maybe. The library will be a community resiliency center, the CRC. This is actually still going before the library board, so I'm not gonna get too deep into it because it's like not actually approved yet. But basically the CRC is a part of the library that is like the front of the library, the atrium, the community room. The community room is like a hardened space. It's got more of a steel structure within it. And this functions in a way that it can be shut off from the rest of the library in case of need. The CRC is not like a food pantry or an overnight shelter or a hospital. It is a place that could be used in time of like an emergency, like we have seen in the past with the explosion now. So it's a place that could be, trying to think of the word, a place that could be public support, a place where organizations can come together, a place where there is a private room where the people can have discussions and organizations can get together and help people. Also, it has the backup with the
Microphone.
yeah, there we go. Well, it's the battery energy storage system, which is the best. The rooftop solar photovoltaic storage, the microgrid infrastructure, so it's got all this infrastructure built into it. So the library will have power if nothing else does, is what it is. We have the infrastructure to support backup in the city. So we are kind of that backup location. I could talk about summer reading for a really long time, so I won't, because that's like another 30-minute presentation. But just so you know, we had a lot of readers this year. This year, we did 111 programs just for kids and teens with 8,660 participants. This number is actually outdated. Not that number. This number, the reading program finishers is outdated because we keep accepting finishers. So now we have 2,136 finishers, and it just keeps getting higher, and it's our record by far. Also, the June and July circulation of the library is the highest it's ever been, which is amazing. Verona is historically the highest circulating library around, because it is. We were like this close to beating them this year, so we're gonna beat them. You may not know that 5th grade students come to the library in like the second semester. The last couple of years I've worked with Rick and we've gotten all the 5th graders to the library. So all my elementaries, all the 5th graders come to the library. We get as many of them as library cards as possible. In 2026, I issued 235 library cards to 5th graders. And you combine that to the 5th graders who already have library cards, 480 kids have library cards going into 6th grade. That's 81% of the 6th graders having a library card going into 6th grade. That's a lot of kids with a library card going into middle school and having like that newfound independence. And then we also visit all 9 elementary schools in late May and early June to tell them about the reading program and remind them to come to the library. So we go classroom to classroom everywhere in the school district. And ways that especially teens can get involved. We have a volunteer program. Volunteer is for 7th through 12th grade. So it is an active application. It is usually out in the spring and it is competitive. They have to apply, they have to interview with us. We usually have dozens, if not like more than 50 applications. It can take about 20 because that's about how many we can handle. Page 1 positions are for ages 16 and up. The REACH internship is for ages 14 and up. This year I had a special teen intern that I got a grant to do. That probably won't happen again because it was a special grant. that had to be 16 to 19. 19, they like just graduated high school. And I was able to pay them the same as my library assistant ones, which is really amazing. And they did a special project for me this summer. Student trustees on library board, we always have 2. They are 16 and up, but we try to have one from some Prairie West and some Prairie East. And student trustees on Friends of the Library Board, we always have 2, and they can be 14 and up. So lots of different ways for high schoolers in particular to get involved in the library and serve. Okay, I did it all. I probably went over.
Thank you, Lynn. I think you'll realize we probably don't have a bigger cheerleader than Lynn at the library. Your enthusiasm is fantastic. Any questions for Lynn on the library?
Lynn, this is kind of a silly question, but does the library have recommendation how long the reading signs I need to keep outside my house? At what point is it okay for me to take those down?
You can take them on anytime, but you know, like I have a little rainbow above that my house, or a
I can verify that every year.
box for me. My house is even-
We have a debate in our house every year, how long we have to stay up. And so I was gonna go home and be like, I have an official like quote on this. So I'm
We
gonna lose the
no
argument.
longer brought in tape signs, it's a sustainability issue. So last year we did not take signs, this year we do not. We are not going out to actively find signs anymore. It is not a sustainable.
My kids would love to leave them up forevermore.
I mean,
But there's a point, I'm like, guys,
my kids do. I take them in sometimes. Yeah.
Any other questions? Isaac.
Oh,
It is.
no, you're good.
Not really a question, but just wanted to, well, maybe I can turn it into a question. It's like, will you have Cookie Kangaroo again next year? Because they're so awesome and my kids loved it and it was such a cool kickoff in the summer.
I loved having cuckoo. It was like the best thing ever. So assuming I can get some funding, hopefully the foundation will help me, I would love to have cuckoo back and make it an annual tradition. So we'll see. We will, that's to be determined.
Thank you. Any other questions? As Lynn said, we're very proud of the fact that the library is a resiliency center. If we have a disaster such as what Benasha had recently, people can look to the library. If you have like medicine that needs to be chilled, you can go and plug it in. It's going to be the place to gather if we ever have the unfortunate situation. So that more or less leads into our next one, sustainability. And we have Hannah Best here from the city to talk about some of the sustainability efforts that we're doing. Hannah, welcome.
Thank you, Mayor. I'm Hannah Best, and I just want to say thank you to our educators for all the work they do. My last role before the city was in a middle school, and I really saw how much heart and commitment and innovation it takes to take care of teaching our future leaders. And so thank you, educators and school board. I think it's great that we're all here together tonight with council to highlight the ways that the city has worked with the district to make a lot of awesome things happen in Sun Prairie. I guess I'll just start by saying the first couple of slides we're going to see were put together by Kevin Splain. He is the district's energy manager. And so I'm going to just kind of touch on some of the things that he's included, but my slides will follow these and I'll be able to share a little more on those items as well. So sustainability has had a history of partnership between the city and the district. Kevin is on our sustainability committee. He also has, let's see, I'm kind of reading this, guys, I didn't put this slide together. He has been on city panels for the Energy Savings Performance Contracting Owners Representative, as well as our Climate Action Plan, which is a 25-year plan to guide our city's emissions reductions. And I'll talk a little bit more about that later in my slides. And he was also a guest on the Sustainable Sun Prairie podcast. So for those of you who don't know, there are some Sustainable Sun Prairie podcast episodes you can find them on our website. And so this one specifically touches on school sustainability, and you can hear Kevin's thoughts there. Go to the next slide. So the school district has multiple sites that participate in our Slow Mo Let It Grow program. So for anyone who's unfamiliar, that's our pollinator initiative in the spring to reduce mowing frequency or raise the deck setting on your mower to allow for some early season blooms to grow to support pollinators. So for the school to demonstrate that to its students is awesome, and potentially a opportunity for educators to bring students out to those sites and talk about pollinators that time of year. Kevin was a partner on an EIGP grant that supported adding energy meters at both district and city locations. This project didn't move forward due to kind of not the right time and place for it, but kind of still part of that partnership, showing how the school board and the city have worked together. And the Dane County Office of, I think this is probably the Dane County Office of Energy and Climate Change. Climate Champions is an award they offered, which I'll also talk about later, but the city and the school district both partner in a group that they host called the Sustainable Leaders Collaborative, and that's a group of people who work in sustainability within Dane County who get together and kind of act as a group thing to address barriers and support each other as we pursue similar initiatives in our communities to share resources. So we move to the next slide. Thank you. And a current collaboration is the Charge Up Dane County EV grant that the city is working on siting. So both city and district properties are included in this grant and partnered on the locations for where these EV chargers would be best placed to serve the city of Sun Prairie, as well as kind of the charging network at large. This project is really trying to fill in any gaps that exist so that EV owners can travel freely without needing to worry about, if they run out of battery and where are they and what might happen. So that's an effort here that the district and city have been pursuing together. So those are not currently built yet. They're in the process of still, the siting has been completed, but the building will take place in the next probably year or two. I'm not going to talk about this too much on this slide because I have some slides that go further into it, but we have a really fun rescue project that I think I'll just let you advance and I'll cover it on my slides. So this is the first of my official slides that I prepared for tonight. This project is really fun. So RESCUE stands for Residential Event and School Compost Undertaking. And so this is a project that's funded by a USDA grant. And the overall goal here is to expand composting options in Sun Prairie for residents, events, and schools. And so it's been a really awesome opportunity for us to partner with the schools. And this project has introduced lunchroom composting and share tables that redistribute uneaten food in lunchrooms at both Token Springs and Royal Oaks. And those two schools, the photos you see here and here, are photos of students from those two schools visiting the Green Box Compost Facility, which is located right here in Sun Prairie, just down the road from the library. And so we got to invite students to come there for a field trip and learn about composting. Here they're holding worms and learning about the role worms play in composting, so you can only imagine that was a riot. And talking about other waste diversion practices in this photo, and also we had an educational station to talk about the value that compost provides in returning nutrients to our soil, which supports us growing healthier food, more nutrient-dense food. So through this project, I have the metrics listed here, but just in the schools alone, we diverted nearly 12,000 pounds of food scraps. And so that's a lot of food. Part of this came from the West High School production kitchen, where we were also collecting food as part of this pilot. And we also, as part of this project, got to connect with the East High School Environmental Club and do an educational workshop with their group on waste diversion at large, including composting. And I think something that's really exciting to point out here too is that through this project, we avoided 15 metric tons of CO2 emissions. And something I like to point out with composting is that sometimes it's thought that, oh, well, it'll break down in the landfill. But the landfill environment actually doesn't have the microorganisms and oxygen access that food scraps need to break down without reducing emissions. So composting is a process that allows those food scraps to break down without producing significant emissions, while also returning nutrients to our soil, like I mentioned earlier. So this has been a really awesome partnership with the schools, and I'll also shout out Sustain Dane and, like I mentioned earlier, Greenbox Compost, who are our partners in this project. We can go ahead to the next slide. So this project, some of you might be familiar if you've been to the Family Aquatic Center this summer. It looks different than it did last year, right? In an exciting new way. And there's lots of new features there. And so one of them are photographed here, these what we call solar trees. And so these trees were installed as part of that renovation project to offset the pool's energy usage and also be a public-facing solar project. Solar's commonly on roofs, and it's not as visible as these trees, which also light up at night. So maybe you've driven by and seen them showing off at night too. And one of the most special features that these trees have are their trunks, which are each wrapped in a graphic design. And so for a part of this program, we developed a solar tree youth design contest that was open to all Sun Prairie students K through 12. And so we got to bring this contest to students. We had some kind of design sessions where we explained this contest and gave the opportunity for students to develop submissions. We did that at Meadowview, Tucking Springs, and Northside Elementary. And so we generated about 40 entries for this contest that were all designed by local youth. And our this project was funded in part by sponsors. And so one of the kind of fun perks of being a sponsor for this project was that they got to vote on which designs they wanted to see printed on these trees. And so we had a lot of amazing submissions, guys. It was hard to choose just 3. They were awesome, and there's a lot of great artists here in Sun Prairie, I learned, in the school district. But these were the 3 designs that were selected, and so another really fun project that we were thrilled to work with the district on. Next slide, please. So I told you I'd get back to a climate action plan, and here it is. This is a plan that will guide the next 25 years of sustainability and emission reduction work in Sun Prairie. There are 12 strategies within these 5 focus groups to do this, and this is a community-wide plan. So this plan inventoried not only municipal operations and the emissions generated there, but also community-wide emissions. And this plan has strategies in it to address reducing all of those to reach net zero by, our goal is 2050 in this plan. And, we'll probably have maybe some different strategies that come up in the next 25 years. That's a long time to plan for, but this plan is a really good place to start in doing that work. And something really special about this plan is it includes a letter from the East High School Environmental Club. So we shared this plan with them before it went formally to council and asked them, you know, what they thought about a plan like this and how they are thinking about their future and the environment. And so if you're interested, this whole plan is available online. If you type in Sun Prairie Climate Action Plan, it's the first link that'll come up, and you can read the full letter from youth. It's a really inspiring perspective about why a plan like this really matters a lot to young people today who are wondering, you know, what's the quality of the air and the water that I'll experience when I'm grown up. So the high school, the East High School Environmental Club shared a really wonderful perspective there, and has the letter details a lot of the efforts that they've contributed to environmental activism with their club as well, separate from our climate action plan. So it's really great to see the level of commitment to these kind of causes that the youth has, and the way they value sustainability in their environment. We can advance to the next slide. So this is my last slide, but earlier I mentioned the Dane County Climate Champion Awards. I think that the school has also won their own awards. I am detailing here the city's awards. So this is an award you can win through the Dane County Office of Energy and Climate Change. And they developed this as a way to kind of shout out the significant milestones that people, municipalities, and school districts, and actually businesses too, everyone can be a Dane County Climate Champion, to shout out the initiatives that people are pursuing and succeeding in. And so these are, you know, a list of some of the things that Sun Prairie has accomplished and won this award for, and that dates back to 2021 when Dane County won its first Climate Champion, or sorry, Sun Prairie won its first Dane County Climate Champion Award. And that was when it initiated its sustainability committee and dedicated sustainability staffing in 2021. And so we've kind of had a streak here of winning these awards. I can't announce 2026 yet, but I can tell you good news is on the way. And I guess I'd also just like to shout out 2025, which was a really big year for the city in reaching its 100% renewable electricity for municipal operations goal, which is huge. And we are really excited for being able to claim this goal. It was a goal that was kind of a long time in the making and has required some strong partnerships with SPU and WPPI to achieve, as well as, you know, the city has its own solar on City Hall, West Side Community Services Building, wastewater treatment plant, SPU has an array, the library now has an array. So we're really proud of all the work we've achieved in reducing our emissions here in Sun Prairie, and looking forward to see what comes next. So thank you all.
Thank you, Hannah. Does anybody have any questions for Hannah? Tony?
Just want to thank you for all the work that you've been doing with the school districts, especially looking into some of the rescue stuff you're doing. And I'm just curious what steps we can take next year to maybe expand that into some of our buildings that are in other areas of town. Turkey Springs and Royal Oaks are great. They're really close in proximity, and I think they could really benefit, especially some of our Title I schools. And I can see some of those kids who may not have those opportunities get access to that. So I'd like to see how we can work to expand that across the district and bring it to other areas for students who might benefit from that as well.
Thanks for that question. Well, I'm excited to share that I believe I don't know that it's officially decided, but I have heard from the district that the goal is to continue composting at the sites where this project has piloted. And I've also heard that there's interest from the district in expanding this opportunity for other schools. So this is done, like I said, with Green Box Compost, who's very local. And so I think next steps to continue increasing the opportunity for students and schools to participate in this would be to, I'll leave my card with you actually, if you'd like to stay connected, we can talk about it, meet with Green Box, and talk about timeline and what that looks like. We've established a pretty good set of like educational resources, signage, things like that, that will be like handed over to the district formally at the conclusion of this project, which is officially the grant period ends in 2020, the end of 2026. But I think we're kind of starting that process. The portion that we worked with the schools related to this grant was all completed in the last school year. So we're kind of in that transition of rolling those resources over, making sure the school district has everything it needs from, you know, the resources that were developed as part of this. So yeah, happy to leave my card with you so we can stay in touch and bring in Green Box Compost to look at furthering this effort within other schools.
And if you do want to give a tour of Green Box, it's down on Linneroot Avenue. He started that, about 4 years ago maybe, just out see Ben. You had an opportunity to hold those words in your hand personally. So, anything else for Hannah? Okay, thank you, Hannah. Very good. As we talk about opportunities that we share, the next one is going to be outdoor classrooms. And we have Andy here from Sunbury Utilities.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. My name is Andy Herbal. I'm the supervisory engineer for Sunbury Utilities. Been their City of Sunbury employee for 25 years, resident of Sunbury about the same, and proud member of District 1 for a shout out for District 1. District numbers,
No kissing up.
Yes, yes. So I wanted tonight to provide a little background on the Well 10 project and then a progress update, just because we're literally in the midst of construction. So because you can't really dig a 900-foot hole in the city just kind of anywhere without some planning, we always look out pretty far in our long-range planning to try to identify some nice locations that we can accomplish quite a few things. One, just to keep up the overall system capacity. One, to keep Chief Garrison happy on his fire flows and his fire protection. And then, just in general, strengthen that system reliability with good water sources. And so we embarked on this journey in 2018 after our long-range planning kind of identified the need. And if you know it or not, also a good quiz question, Prairie has 2 pressure zones. The one where this one was identified to be located only has 2 well sources. So a third one was going to really help when we take one of those offline for maintenance, since you have not just one, now you have 2 wells to be able to support that side of the system. So major, #1 goal for us. Second one, of course, lagging very closely behind, is that responsible use of an aquifer. So as you guys may know, water is an essential resource, but also an important one, and one we take a great responsibility in stewarding. So making sure that we are locating that site in a way that can support the aquifer, not over encumbered in some ways, also very important. And then, of course, the benefit to the community. In 2009, we built our last well. Only one guess on what number that was, of course. Well number 9 in 2009. And that one is a park structure and well. So it created a great opportunity for us to not only provide a park shelter in a Sunbury park, but also a well site. Find a place to dig a hole. This one is kind of that same way. We approached the school district with the same kind of possibility that land is difficult to find. It's hard to dig a 900-foot hole. And there was an opportunity there that we could collaborate to create something really special on the site. Next slide, please. And this is what we came up with. We spent time, probably a year, going back and forth on design with members of the staff for the school district They were kind enough to even find the records on the brick that was used on Sun Prairie East originally. So we could really try to make this place fit into the aesthetic, even though it was coming at a later time. So down to the overall finishes and stuff. And it was really great to work with the staff. We'd be sending weekly emails back and forth talking about doorknob colors and stuff. And it was, I mean, we were all completely involved. It's very, very cool to do. And to that end, during construction now, we're still having those weekly meetings, albeit on site now, and both of us are attending in the job trailer together, still talking about the project and making sure it's on its way. So these are the product of those renderings, at least anyway, in those discussions, to get to a design that was both attractive, but could be functional for both the utility and the school district. Next slide, please. So here's the project timeline. I thought I'd be remiss if I didn't make it a pipeline at all, but I just wanted to really highlight how long of a process it takes to get a new well in the city. And this one's been going on, obviously 2018, but even a little bit before that when we were kind of guiding that planning process. And so we kind of sit here in the May 2026, fall 2026 area, but obviously there's a lot of stuff beforehand. The need, of course, the second investigation we talked about, but we also drilled a test well, part of that responsibility of the aquifer. We want to make sure it would pump, but not also deplete that for at the same time. So went through that process, and the pandemic happened in there. It's not meant to be a bottom, decreasing shape in my pipeline. It just kind of worked out that way. But then obviously it swung up to the point we're at now, where the final well was drilled, and then the final well house is now well underway to the point where some testing and turn-up procedures will happen here in fall, and we'll have substantial completion by January of 2027. So just in time, hopefully, for some programming for the following year. Next slide, please. So this is where we are today. There's probably a niche group that maybe finds this super exciting, like me, but it'll get very exciting in the next couple of weeks. We're going to start vertical construction. So if you drive out there today, it kind of looks like this. The next couple of weeks, we'll be building up the walls and everything else that's really going to make it look like the renderings, obviously, hopefully. We're just very excited about it. It's been a pleasure to work with the district on this project and bringing something like this to the city and the school district. I'm excited to see what the Ecolab space gets to. I don't have any inside track on any of that, but I am still excited to see what type of programming we're able to do out in that space. So that was my last slide if you guys have any questions.
Any questions, Randy? Please.
And thank you, Andy. I'm just really curious, what will the students be able to see or experience as part of this well?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of potential for all sorts of stuff. I don't want to steal any of the staff's thunder on what type of programming can be in there, but it's going to be a collaborative space outside. I think even just being outside. So I know it said Ecolab and stuff on it, so I don't want to steal any thunder, but that point of even just learning outside in a space, I think, can be really good for mental health and stuff inside. So I'm excited. I've heard everything from prairie grasses and just the natural prairie kind of exposition to just a tandem space with the greenhouse as well, and kind of bringing all that space together. So, like I said, it was kind of neat to see how we could work together to provide that, but also the security of a classroom as well. So, it was a really great partnership, a great project that I'm really proud of so far. Thank you.
Any other questions? I'd be disappointed.
I just want to compliment and say it's been, my kids and I on our regular drives to the ice rink this summer, it's been fun to watch the trucks and the work going on. We've stopped along the way and pulled in and kind of gandered at what they were doing. My son did the East High School's agriculture project, and they talked about that a little bit as well as part of it. So it's been exciting to watch it coming about this summer. So I just want to compliment you on that.
Okay, like I said, for someone like me that's been a part of it all, it's fantastic to see it kind of come to life. You know that you can stop out there, and there always seems to be something happening. The final well set for a small amount of time, at least for like maybe a year and a half before construction started. So you drive by, and yes, it's still like plants and corn, all those things, and there's this little tiny pipe out there, you know, that is a 900-foot hole in the ground that eventually becomes a water source for the community. So, yeah, slowly and surely. That's why, like I said, these are super exciting to me. You know, they were lines on paper, 8 years ago and stuff. So, once it's fully operational, it's going to be really, really great for everybody.
Yeah, thank you, Andy. Yeah, if you have the opportunity, if you've ever had the opportunity to see what a well looks like, we have one, Musket Ridge, was at a few of them, and to answer your question a little bit, Casey, it's a room full of PLCs, the programmable logical controls, and those PLCs control the water flow and the need, and knows when to pump. It's an amazing setup. So yeah, talk to Andy, anybody here, try to get a tour of what that looks like. And that's going to be such a positive classroom when that happens out there. Okay, next we're going to talk about Patrick Marsh. I'm not sure. Okay, Aaron.
Just the one slide for me. That's good. Yeah. So, but first, before I begin, isn't it amazing all the things that Sun Prairie is able to accomplish? I often say that residents never say they like living in Sun Prairie. They always say they love living in Sun Prairie. And it's because of all the things that we do, all the initiatives, all the accomplishments. Patrick Marsh, it's one slide, but it's 5 years worth of work. So the school district has been using Patrick Marsh as an outdoor classroom for years, but the change that's happened in the last year is the city now owns Patrick Marsh. It is now going to be a city park. It's going to be it's in the city limits now. And so it gives us an opportunity to invest in Patrick Marsh. So we'll be able to put trails and make some upgrades to the park to really bring greater access to this amazing area. How I think about Patrick Marsh is we have an area in a community of 40,000 residents that's growing 700 people a year, where bald eagle and pelicans are going to actually go out to the marsh, enjoy that space in an urban environment. It's really amazing. It's something that we can really tell as a destination unique to us. And it's just amazing going out there and seeing the picturesque area. We just happened to see that. If you haven't been out to Patrick Marsh in a while, our local Rotary Club has just done a really nice feature out there, a lookout over the water. There'll be benches there, and really the whole history of Patrick Marsh is there on plaques. And so really exciting things going on there. One of the important things for the district is no more hunting at Patrick Marsh. There's just something about hunting right next to a school that makes me a little bit nervous. And so you won't have to worry about that anymore at Patrick Marsh. And we have plans as a city to potentially acquire additional area around Patrick Marsh and really make it an amazing area for residents to enjoy for years to come. We often hear from our residents, we're growing fast. What are we preserving for the future? And Patrick Marsh really answers that it will always be a conservancy. It will always be there for future generations to enjoy. So really amazing. That's what I have, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, Santiago.
Aaron, would you happen to know if there's any effigy mounds out there?
There may be out there. There's residents. Oops, I'm sorry. There are residents that have said that there are burial mounds in the area, and so it could be possible that is there. We did do a phase 1 assessment and a phase 2 environmental to make sure that we're aware of the environmental conditions in the area. So certainly could be possible. We know there's a lot of history out there. I think there's been artifacts found, like, just old tools and arrowheads and things of that nature. It really is an amazing area preserved for the future. And keep in mind, there was no cost to acquire this area. And it does expand our parks in the city by 50%, so our acreage. So really amazing.
You haven't been disturbed?
No. And, well,
It's awesome.
Is the city currently looking at adapting any more conservancy parks there and other places of Sun Prairie? I know there's other bodies of water around Sun Prairie that are surrounded by trees and natural wildlife areas. I'm just curious what the appetite is for expanding that, so that way other areas of the community can benefit from having that so close to their back doors as well as the people who live around Patrick Marsh.
So you may not be aware, we have around 50 parks in the city, neighborhood parks, regional parks. We do have areas, greenways that we are conserving for the future as well. Nothing of the scale of Patrick Marsh where it's about 250 acres of land. We are, as I mentioned previously, looking at potentially expanding Patrick Marsh as far as the lands that the city may own in the future. So those are ongoing discussions, but nothing of this scale as far as future conservancies. Would we be open to it? Certainly if the conditions were right, that could be a conversation that the city enters into.
Okay, any other questions?
Yeah, thank you, Aaron. Yeah, I see Patrick Marsh becoming to Sun Prairie what Central Park is to New York City someday. I think we will preserve this land. I'm not sure how many people remember when that was drained. I mean, it was Brazzi Lake for a while, and then it was drained, and Paul Krebs farmed it, and then they decided to bring it back up. So this is a great opportunity. I'm so happy the city entered into this partnership with everyone.
Yeah, we've been absorbing a lot. I hope we're all doing okay so far. And I do want to really acknowledge how many city partners showed up tonight to help present. I know this was a hard time. Like, I know we have educators who would be thrilled to come talk about our outdoor classrooms, or Kevin Spillane is super passionate when it comes to sustainability. It's a bit of a tricky time in August. A lot of times we ask, specifically encourage our educators to take their vacations around now because we want them around when kids are around. So we didn't plan this months in advance to be able to give them warning to avoid. So, but thank you to all of the city partners who have been present and here with us, helping us learn tonight. So our next little bit, though, we're going to do our lift on the school board side of things to do a little bit of the presenting. So our resident expert, Bryn Horton here from WePenn. But just talking a little bit about Wisconsin voucher system and tax transparency. So you'll say it better than I will, so I'll hand it off to Bryn.
I totally just spelled a mistake on my slide, so. I feel like I should stand somewhere else because you guys have all been standing over here. So I think I'm going to just to like switch your neck around for a little bit, all right? I am straddling two lanes here tonight. I work part-time for Wisconsin Public Education Network, which does public school advocacy, and some of this work we're leading across the state. Sorry, I'll just go next to it, not in front of it. And then also obviously school board, because school boards around the state right now are starting to push projects that are working on to try to get voucher transparency on the tax bills. So what I tried to do was start a little bit with the voucher system in case people didn't know anything about it. We have 3 programs that affect Sun Prairie Area School District, which is the overall Wisconsin Parental Choice Program. There's also a special needs scholarship program, which provides an amount of money for a student with special needs to go to a private school. We have a whole nother layer of how they fund those versus how they fund special education in the public schools. We'll touch on that tonight. And then non-district independent charters. So districts can also create their own charters, but that's within the district. Independent charters are outside of district control. There's no school boards as a part of that. And so every year, the way the state has funded vouchers is that that impact continues to increase for us every year. That includes two different ways statewide. There's only a pie so big, and the vouchers get a bigger portion of that pie every year. So that increases public schools' portion of the pie. So that's one way that it affects our district. And then also directly through a decrease in payments through individual students who go to charter schools and voucher schools. Last year's school year, this is directly from DPI, this is the amount of money that we have paid out to other schools for our students that live in Sun Prairie that go to. So 73 students are going to a school that takes the vouchers. 7 students are getting a special needs scholarship at a private school. And then we have about between 40 and 49 students that are going to independent charters. Part of that is because 4K programs that nobody gets paid for full-time 4K. So this year we were at just over $1.5 million that came directly out of our coffers to go to private schools. How this affects taxpayers is that school funding is complicated. We can raise our levy limit by what the revenue limit is, increase every year, but also we are allowed as part of the funding to be able to raise the property tax revenue levy in order to recoup the costs of what we're paying out to the private schools. So right now, we're levying for an extra $1.5 million that looks like it goes to our schools, but it doesn't go to our schools. And so what we're trying to do on tax bills around the state is have a line, just like we have a line on the tax bills about what goes, what you guys are paying extra for referendum, would also show how much is going to out of our district and into private schools. I did think it was important to note that none of the private schools that are getting this money from us actually are currently within our school district boundaries. So that $1.5 million is going outside of the school district entirely. Green Bay is like the prime example. They have done a really good job of getting the tax actually on the tax bill. There are several communities that have it as an insert. Racine was one of the first that did that. Madison has information in an insert in their property tax bill, but what we're hoping to do is actually have a simple, just one line that tells you how much money is going to the voucher program. And in order to do that, we need city help. Fortunately, the school district cannot do it on its own. We have to have city council pass a resolution in order to support this. And then that information in the resolution, which we have many examples to be able to provide if the city council decides that they're interested in pursuing this, that then gets provided to the Department of Revenue so that they can make the change. And then obviously we work with the school district to get the monetary information that goes onto the tax bill. And then for us as well, we have 9 other municipalities besides the city. It also impacts their taxes as well. So hopefully if we can work together on this, it would also be great to then use that to be able to go to some of our other municipalities. And then also, I personally have been in contact with Victoria Stewart, who works for the Madison Metropolitan School District. And she is very interested in having the Dane County Board pass this because we have so many school districts in the Dane County area that cover multiple municipalities and sometimes just parts. It's like we're just part of the city of Madison. So if it can be countywide, then that takes some of the pressure off some of the smaller communities that may not have a very big area, or it's just a teeny part that goes into a school district. I don't know how that looks on a tax bill. So obviously this was very quick. I'm happy to sit down with anybody who wants a more deep understanding, more thorough understanding. There's also a lot of resources available about how we can get the community behind this if we so choose, and what that looks like and how we can communicate that out to people. We just think whether you agree with private school vouchers and independent charters doesn't really matter. I think we can all agree that taxpayers deserve to know where their tax dollars are going, especially at this junction of sharing of money and how much money there is and what we're doing with our money. I think it's important that everybody gets to know where their taxes are going. That's all I have.
Is that included in this?
It is not. You can get me right up on my soapbox, Ella. So we are required to pay to bus all the kids to the private schools in town. One of the schools outside the district boundary that takes vouchers, we are currently paying for them to drive their kids because we don't bus and they're within a certain distance. So none of the extras that we provide for the private schools in town are included in this. It's just for the ones that take vouchers. For how much it costs for? I do not. I'd have to ask. Yeah, I'd have to ask Matt to give that dollar. I don't know.
Yeah, thank you, Brent, for presenting this to us. And so let's talk after this meeting. I'd be happy to work through a referral that we can make tomorrow at City Council.
Thank you. Anybody else?
I think so as well. If you'll help us.
Well, thank you. This is an eye opener to myself. And so $1.5 million is a lot of money that go to schools that are not even sub-prairies. But that is, so are there, do we have a reason why students decide to go to private schools outside of sub-prairie? And yeah, just general. Yes.
So we don't track that information. So we're not 100% sure why people choose private schools. A lot of several of the voucher schools in town are religious schools. So I can guess that some people want their kids to go to the school that provides a religious education. But if they're there from the time they start school, we would have no idea why they're not choosing to enroll in public schools and instead choosing to go to one of the private schools. And Dane County is lucky in some respects because we don't have a ton of voucher impact. Like obviously it's bigger in more the Milwaukee area. Madison has a huge, but I think we don't have a huge number of schools that take vouchers in Dane County, which is different in a lot of other areas. I think last count there were 14 in Dane County, which I think is a small number for such a big population of kids. So.
I definitely love the idea of having this transparent for taxpayers because a lot of times when districts go on referendum, they think that the money stays in the district and it's like a whitewash, right? Comes in and it goes to the vouchers, right? And please let me know how county board can help, please. Thank you.
Thank you. I will.
And we have families.
Yeah, I know.
It's almost like this could be its own meeting.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, it probably will be. Can we anticipate, are you able to project what those numbers are going to look like in a year or 2 years? Do you think they're going to shrink or they're just going to grow?
I would say in general, I can't predict for Sun Prairie. I mean, we have gone up every year, but they add new private schools every year. I mean, this is just the voucher program in general in the state, right? Like the per pupil amount that you're paying out to the private schools goes up every year. It's actually been increasing at a greater rate than what's coming into the public schools. And then the enrollment caps have come off this school year, so there's no longer, used to be started at a 1% cap of enrollment, and then it was at 10%. Now there's no enrollment cap at all. So, and then I believe at some point the income level caps come off. I'm not sure what year that is, but right now you can only get a voucher if you're like at 250%, I think, of poverty level. But eventually that will go away completely and anybody can qualify for a voucher. Next year, yeah. Yeah. And anybody can go to an independent charter school. There's no parameters around that at all, so.
Okay, any other questions?
As you can tell, I can talk forever about this, so if you want to.
Thank you. That's very informative.
Yeah, and I think that was meant to mostly be a teaser, and then if people are interested in learning more, it really could be its whole own meeting and true back and forth discussion, which we just don't have the space and capacity for in tonight's meeting, but I'm glad to see it generated a little bit of curiosity. And certainly if people are interested in learning more, we can set up to do a question. Yeah.
Maybe we can talk later. I didn't realize it was that. And it kind of makes me angry that we would pass a resolution, because it's almost showing that we support private schools when we're all about public education. That's just my, unless I need a better understanding of this, but because I support public schools. And I'm a private school graduate, and my parents paid for my education. They didn't have to, you know what I mean? I can see if we were in a school district like maybe Milwaukee or an inner city school where the private schools are better for the kids. But yeah, I don't know how I feel about the resolution. I mean, the message that.
Yeah, well, the resolution is like the Department of Revenue requires language from the city in order to be able to change the property tax bill. So I don't think it's worded in a way to be supportive of. Right, and also because that is true, like you don't have to support or not support private schools in order to be able to have the transparency. It's just a way for us to get to a point too where communities can actually see how much money is going out to their vouchers. Because technically every school district in the state is impacted, but some are more impacted than others because you have actual students who are taking that money and going with it.
All right, fantastic. And we just had a plug here. I don't want to put Dr. Reed on the spot, but do you want to give everyone a little idea of in a few days, we've got a kind of a new community engagement opportunity that we thought while people are here, we could kind of give a little visibility to.
Can't put a bear down on the spot, I'm ready all the time. So definitely, our goal was to make sure that all stakeholders have a voice, like you just talked about, a person in the space that we can have these dialogues back and forth. Many times in hearings like these or meetings, you can't have that dialogue. So we want to make sure we take our time to sit down and have a dialogue about, hey, where our tax money is going, what our opportunities are for our scholars. And we're going to do this on a monthly cadence. And then to some of the areas that have not found their way to these various forums. We're gonna make sure we bust them there, we're gonna feed them there and provide daycare. So we wanna make sure that all voices are heard throughout the school year. So we'll be doing this on the monthly. So I'm excited to be at the Boys and Girls Club for this month on the August 20th date there. And look forward to continuing to do this throughout the school year.
Thank you so much. And the other date we want to plug, if we're talking about finances and community engagement all in one, is our annual meeting on October 5th. We don't have a pretty flyer for it yet, but we just wanted to put the information up on the annual meeting. Is that meeting of the electors? It's not a school board meeting. It's a meeting of the electors where the levy is set on October 5th for the year that is kind of already starting, because we run a July 1 to June 30 fiscal year, and we approve our budget in October. Funny how our timing works, right? But that's just, I'm not saying it made sense, I didn't make it up that way, that's just the way we do it. But we would love to have all of you and anybody watching come and attend, because we'll have a wonderful presentation on more of the details around district finances. And then we can show you where it's all gonna go and for what. All right. So we've been going on for quite a while, and we're not gonna go into each one of these things, but to highlight there were a whole lot of other things that we could have had presentations on tonight. We tried to pick a few that maybe kind of sometimes fly under the radar or might get forgotten. We talk a lot about community schools, right? I think we've had lots of long presentations at both of our meetings about community schools every year and things like that. But some of these other things we thought were interesting to give a little bit more attention to. So hopefully we found it interesting. And there's a lot, like I said, there's a lot of other things that we could always talk more about in the future if we like a format like this where we can just learn about what each other is doing and what our partnerships look like. But now we want to give a little bit of room. We did call an audible and realized we should let people ask questions while the presenters are still here so our presenters could leave. So that's kind of where we changed midway through. But if anyone wants to just kind of open discussion, we can go around and, you know, share a thought. Or two, if you've kind of been taking any notes and making observations, you can just kind of pass this around, or, yeah, what do you think?
Sure, thank you. Yeah, I do want to say, Dr. Reed, there's a book out, I think Dale Carnegie wrote it. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. And I can guarantee there's no part in that book that says you should admit you're very sad.
Aaron, you have anything? Okay, answer.
I just want to point out that after the microphone was removed from my hand and went to Alder Crombie over here, that she made a comment about District 3. And then a comment about District 1 and 2. District 4, we have a marvelous pack of wolves in District 4, so come over our way, better be careful. And who besides us has Cold Stone? Yeah. So we're pretty doggone good.
On the James and stuff, there was a fight between districts. So.
Yeah.
Okay, so sorry I missed most of the meeting. I was at the utility commission and I finally would have lost quorum, but I did let the president know that that's where I was and the mayor knew. So there's two things I want to say before I pass on. District 3 rules and go Bears.
The Bears really, I like to be kind, but the Bears really do something other one. In 1977, I love college football, so not Illinois, no. But anyways, we have at least 3 school board members that I know that are at District 3. So it's still, you know, you still agree that it's one of the best. So anyways, I'm gonna pass it on. We have the library too.
This is funny, but we have at-large members on the school board, so we don't have to fight about districts. I'm gonna be more serious. I appreciate everybody coming out and spending extra time that you wouldn't normally in a meeting and sitting and getting, and hopefully I learned some things that I did not know, and I appreciate each of you sitting around this table and the people sitting in the audience. This has been wonderful to spend time with everybody, and hopefully, I live in District 1, so I know that I have met my elders, and I think hopefully we can continue that relationship as well too, to be able to meet with our elders a little bit more and have discussions about what's going on in the district. Thanks, everybody.
Speaking of District 2 leads it back.
Yeah, I'd love to echo what Bryn said, and I think I really enjoyed seeing the slides that were linking the schools and the liaisonships and the districts that those schools are in. I'm definitely going to go look back at that and try to connect with those others, and I thought that was very useful, so thank you for that. And thank you to all the presenters who are here today and shared their expertise with us.
I'd like to repeat that I want to thank all the presenters. I actually learned quite a bit tonight. So it's been a good night for me. Any night that you can learn is a good night. Thank you.
We'll bring the microphone down here and ask if our additional elected officials have anything to say. Annalise, you didn't get to introduce yourself at the beginning.
Well, thank you, Steve. I'm Annalise Eicher. I am the District 3 representative on the Dane County Board. I have the eastern half of Sun Prairie, but I also have the incredible opportunity of working with our library in some capacity, as well as with our school district as a coach at Sun Prairie West. But also was late this evening because I coach with our soccer club. So I have a lot of work that I do with our youth. And it was just really wonderful to see the intentional collaboration. And I loved the mention of Dane County in a number of these places. The county has some incredible resources. The Office of Climate Change, of course, was mentioned. But, we've got our Youth in Governance program, which has had a number of participants from the city of Sun Prairie that actually come and serve on our county board committees and work and learn the electoral process, and vote in meetings. It's wonderful. I've had that experience of mentoring students as well as having them on committees. And, a lot of the programming that Dane County supports is primarily in the human services aspect. We have an incredible partnership and the incredible model that is Sunshine Place. And we're, I think, incredibly grateful to be strong supporters of that. And strong partners of both the city of Sun Prairie as well as the school district in serving Eastern Dane County. So an intro as well as a couple of comments, but appreciate everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Annalise. Andrew, is anything to share?
I just wanted to really, it was very educational. I agree with Rex. Love agreeing with Rex. It's very educational, a lot of issues, but I really appreciate Brandon's presentation. One thing I've encountered, which is a little frustrating, I think, for a lot of people, is that I don't think the taxpayers here, the property taxpayers, have all the information sometimes. The state, I'll give you an example, the Department of Revenue, and this is about the municipal, the city itself. They looked at the Department of Revenue, I requested looking at how much money came from the state to the city of Sun Prairie from 2000 until now. And they ran the numbers and they double checked them. And what they came up with is that the city of Sun Prairie receives less, $1,090,000 less per year in 2026 than it did in 2000 when adjusted for inflation. So we look at the referendum that went down recently, the 3.9 million. If you add up 1 million 3 times, basically 1.1 million, you almost have that amount. And I want that information to be known. And when you were talking about the transparency around vouchers, people deserve to know the taxes that they're paying. And so I'm really excited that you guys are looking at this. And yeah, I really appreciate the opportunity to be here.
And what district do you live in?
Amazing representatives are all fantastic.
And I just Andrew lives in District 3 as well, and I live in District 3 as well.
All the districts are great.
Absolutely, all the districts are great, and definitely the city is great at the county. And I just want to say thank you to all the presenters, and I personally have learned a lot about the city and about the district, so I'm definitely looking forward to working with Brain, right? Yes, and so definitely looking forward to looking at what that resolution will look like on the county board. So thank you.
I'm sorry to be put on the spot. Anyways, thank you for the presentations. I would like to see how the city is expanding, especially the library. Sometimes I go there and it really helps me to do my work. So anyways, yeah, I really appreciate seeing all that. I'm gonna pass it on.
Well, I do want to just thank our mayor and our board president, our boards for coming together, because many times we always talk about when things are not the best, but this is an opportunity to share what we are great at and our best story. Sun Prairie exists because someone traveled here through a storm, and that storm cleared up, and they marked us on the tree, and look how far we've come today. So we've done a lot of building, and we got to continue to share that story. So I'm thankful to be here.
That means you don't live in District 3? I'll hold my breath. We'll be in District 3. And no District 2, we can work on that when the elections come. Something I wanted to point out that I observed tonight was a 40,000 population, a new library
with an incredible makerspace layout, the inclusion of the children and everybody's involved. I think it's more of a community center than a library at times. So thanks for the presentation. It's awesome. And our school district, from my career and what I do, I know for a fact that people come here because of the parks, the trails, the school district, the library, and then it's the people of Sun Prairie. And I'm very proud of that. And I think we all should be very proud of why people are coming to the city. They've got a choice. They go anywhere they want to. Maybe not Lodi, but
There's nothing wrong with Lodi.
I know. But no, I'm really proud of what we've accomplished as a group, and we continue to do, and I know that's going to just continue on.
No, this has been great to get a chance to meet and greet. I know, like, I've met several of you before, but not all of you. Also really enjoyed hearing some of the stuff that the city brings to the school district that I wasn't aware of, and really would welcome the opportunity to talk with not just the alders in the area where so especially that we're on the liaison, but all the alders and how we can continue to bring city resources to all of our school buildings and so that we can make it more equitable across the district. Because I think that's a really good push to help bring our community and our kids and help them grow and develop into successful adults someday. So thank you. Not in my right.
Yeah, thank you to all the speakers tonight, the presenters. Is very educational. I do have an ask that we keep this communication going, and that coming weeks, months, years that we work together, that if anything does come up in the school districts, the board, that I wonder why the city does this or why is the city doing that, that we keep the communication open, that we keep working on ways to collaborate for sustainability, to find efficiencies, see how we can maybe save the taxpayers. If we can find some budget efficiencies together, some things we can collaborate more on, that'd be fantastic. So thank you, everyone.
I just want to echo what a lot of people have said already, which is thank you to our presenters. I definitely learned a lot also, and I really appreciated just learning about the ways that our students are benefiting from some of the amazing things that are going on in the community. So thank you for that, and let's continue the partnership.
As the liaison to the school board, I have been watching your meetings. I've gone to one meeting and it was only 20 minutes long, so rock that on. I like that. So for the school board members, just know that I am available if you ever have questions concerning what's going on in the city specific. Now, don't ask me about road construction. I'm so over that. So, is there anybody in this room other than Emily and myself who live in District 4? All right, one. Oh, two, yay.
But I am a Bears fan.
I think I appreciate, kind of echoing everybody else, I appreciate all the discussion and information, and it was, I learned a lot tonight. And I think the only thing for me that we didn't touch on, and I'm sure it's, it would have been too long to go into it, but with the failed referendum, where does all of this fit into that conversation? What parts of the collaborations are, going to be in jeopardy because of that, or how much is going to be the cuts? And I think the community would also be interested in just hearing, since it did fail, where is that going to affect us? Where are we going to see that? And how can we help? Because some of the things that are provided, like crossing guards, SROs, community schools, all of the things listed here are so important and vital to the district. So how those conversations might happen, I guess, is the only thing that we didn't get to touch on. But
yeah, and I'll just echo all the gratitude for the conversations and the continuing partnerships that we have. We have so many beautiful partnerships in place, and one of the main goals tonight, for one, is to recognize all of the good work that we've done and hope to continue to do moving forward in the future as partners. Not every district municipal relationship feels like this, and I feel like we're really lucky in our community to have the ability to come together in one night and highlight all of the amazing things that we do together for all the students and families that we collectively serve. They are all of our kids, right? Sun Prairie Area School District kids are all of our kids. And so how we can continue to jointly take care of them together as a team, and just work to support and partner with one another, moving forward into the future. Hopefully we can do that. I think 6 years was too long to wait to have a meeting like this. We can't do it every day because obviously we all didn't get really time to talk and discuss, which we can always do in future over coffee with each other, right? Things like that. But hopefully we learned something from one another, and this is a trajectory that we can continue moving on into the future.
Yeah, I just want to echo what Diana said. And I do want to thank Diana. We've been talking about this for about a year and a half. And, you know, the timing wasn't right. Now that Dr. Reed is here, I think it's good for you to hear this. And, you know, we've had a lot of progress, lots of progress since Sun Prairie was carved on that tree in 1837. But I think going forward, you're right. Casey, this has to continue. And I think, you know, the next conversation maybe will, you know, possibly could be about the referendum, failed referendum. But I think just level setting everybody so that you understand how collaborative we already are, how we work together so much, what a partnership we have. That's what tonight was all about. Whether it's the shared classroom like Andy talked about, or the library, great things happening in the library. And I'm not going to ask for a show of hands, but if you have not been down to the expanded library, please stop down there. It is a destination. So I want to thank everybody for tonight, and especially the presenters, and look forward to more of these in the future. Thank you.
Just looking around, any final comments or questions by anybody?
Yeah, thank you for giving us 2 hours of your life. Hopefully
That was going to be the next step. You want to do? I move to adjourn.
That was from the city. Okay.
Wait a second.
You have a second?
All right, I'm going to motion by Grayson, second by McFarland. All in favor? Aye.
Okay, we have a motion by Alder Batterman, second by Alder Draymond. All in favor of adjourning this meeting, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. We are adjourned.
Have a great night, everybody.